Hello friends, near and far, dear to my heart, I'm Victoria with Aligned Soul Tarot. This reading will be for Sagittarius and all Sag placements found within your birth chart or wherever you have 9th house influence in your chart. If you are unfamiliar with this territory and you want to go deeper with me into a birth chart analysis or relationship chart reading where we look at two charts together and how they correspond, where the tension lies, right, is where the growth is. So if you want to go deeper, check my website. I have some awesome, different, supportive readings, tarot and astrology readings. And right now I'm running a Eclipse 10% off sale to the end of September. I have a couple spots available, so take advantage of that if you like my reading style. And also on Patreon. We are in the midst of eclipse season. We just had this partial lunar eclipse last night here. But wherever you are, there's always a different time for that exact point of friction, right? This release, this purge that we're experiencing with the past lives, you know, our first 7 years of our life, the foundation of our family, our ancestry, and we're surrendering to it. Pisces is asking us to surrender into the void, into the unknown. This is uncharted territory for some of you. Maybe this is very familiar. This is a general reading, okay? So on Patreon, if you want more support from me, I'm planning on doing another post-eclipse at the end of September. And then October, we have a solar eclipse in Libra. And when we get there, we get there. But just know that on Patreon, sorry, I have allergies, by the way. I'm not sick. I think this eclipse is just allowing me to kind of clear my throat. So for you, this could be about really speaking your truth, right? And we'll talk about some transits and how they're influencing you right now, okay? So we're still in Virgo season. What's this represent? It's purification. It's the house of service. And it's goddess energy. It's goddess Diana for me with the harvest moon. What seeds were we planting back in April? It's always good to reflect back on to April. I have the April eclipse reading on Patreon as well. And I would like for you, if you're new to my channel, to check out your April reading and also February when Pluto went into Aquarius, because we're going to talk about Pluto in Capricorn and then how it's going to go back into Aquarius November 19th. Okay, so we're going to dive into some astro stuff. We're going to pull some tarot and oracle messages for you. And the love reading for September is also linked below. And again, as a Patreon member, just know you get 20% off all my services and access to all those love extended monthly readings. So if you want to dive into your birth chart, get familiar with it. I do plan to every month offer different specials, so stay tuned for October. And on Patreon, I'm going to be coming up with a lot of different series. I'm going to be doing a Chiron series. I'm going to be looking into the retrogrades that we're still feeling as we move into the new year. Okay, so join me there if you want to join my little community. And on Patreon, my goal is to support you. We support each other, right, through this process of creating community. And you can always email me about a certain spread that you want to do, a certain style reading. You know, that's the goal on Patreon. So if you want to feel like you have that support and that community that you can rely on during this eclipse season, join me there and the links are below. Let's get into your reading, Sag. Hello, my beautiful Sagittarius collective. Welcome to this space. If you're cross-watching, welcome. Bear with me. I'm going to be sipping on my tea over here. Again, my voice is a little crackly. I sound like an old witch. So just bear with it. How are you feeling, right? We just had this eclipse last night here in the Pacific Northwest. But wherever you are, you know, there's a different time, but it's a ripple effect. It's like casting out a stone, like I say, with all my eclipse months. And our intentions, our inner critic, right? Virgo, we've been talking about this idea and concept around reframing, and I have a very helpful therapeutic tool to help you reframe so we can turn that inner critic to your inner coach. You know, again, this is about a service. How can we be of service to ourselves? And we're finding this polarity right now with Virgo and Pisces. I have a North and South Node series below, so check out your natal North Node placements in your chart. And I also offer a reading where I can give you detailed birth chart notes and we can pull some cards and do a spread on some of the karma, things you're releasing around the South Node and also incorporating into your North Node, because it's not about forgetting about your South Node. Those qualities are inherently true for you and have made you who you you are, but there are ways to break free from it and to evolve. Much like astrology and tarot, it's an evolutionary process, and also a 6-month transit reading with me could really get you there as well. If you don't have access to these resources on your own, or you just need a guide, an outside perspective, just know that I'm here for you, okay, to support you along the way. As we enter into the portal, this Pisces effect, you know, especially this lunar eclipse, again, I have that pick a pile reading on Patreon, and they're timeless because it's a cycle, right? And sometimes we complete these cycles, the World card. Sometimes we have to go back. And most of us are, I have to say, with Pisces, because it is about the past lives. So it's okay to reflect on the past, although it might be challenging and bring up a lot of triggers. And for you, Saturn and Pisces in this lunar eclipse, they're right next to each other, right? There's this beautiful picture that I captured on Instagram of the moon, and then you see Saturn peeking right behind it like, hey, did you remember those emotions? Did you remember that stuck energy? Do you remember that karma that you want to ignore or avoid? It's like, no, you have to break free from this. And through Virgo's eyes of the sun, Mercury, communication, we are learning how to put it into practice. Again, paying attention to the mundane, the detail that we might be avoiding. And we have to see things with eyes wide open, like I spoke upon in that Pisces eclipse reading. You know, Saturn in Pisces, lunar eclipse in Pisces, it's in your 4th house. It's transiting your 4th house. Well, what does this mean? This is Cancer. This is the foundation, like I said. This is past the first 7 years of your life. And there could be good, bad, ugly, all of it, you know, that we have to see. And we have to realize that we have to find forgiveness. And that takes time. There's no rush to this process. You can trust your healing. That's a song that's coming up for you by Xavier Rudd. You can trust your healing. I will link it below. Whatever songs come up, again, I have that reframing tool. It's an easy process, but it's not going to happen overnight. I'm not going to sell you a crock of shit and tell you that all these epiphanies can happen overnight. Yes, you might get the epiphany, but then how are you going to implement it into practice, Virgo, okay? And again, we have this Aries North Node. That's also asking us to step into our autonomy, be radical free thinkers, making sure that we can break through with gusto of Mars, this Mars influence, right? Because those lunar nodes are the collective healing. And I go deeper on Instagram and on Patreon, okay, explaining all this. So 4th house, it's what's hidden within the home. So, you know, as you know, in society, we wear lots of different masks at work, in relationship, with our kids, you know, with our pets. There's different dynamics, and it's okay sometimes to wear those masks and different parts of our personality. It's not that that's a bad thing, but there does come a time when we are avoiding our truth to some extent, and we have to kind of look beyond the veil, Pisces, look beyond some of our own limitations, Saturn, Pisces, because, you know, I talked about this with Saturn and Pisces and Jupiter. They're squaring off, so it can feel like expand, contract, expand, contract. So every day is a new day, and some days you might feel like contracting, while other days you might want to expand into this Jupiter Gemini influence. Gemini is your opposite, so it's highlighting your 7th house. So this is all about relating, not just intimately, but to the world, relating to family, friends, or foe, right? Befriending the enemy to some extent, because that's going to allow you to move through with acceptance and forgiveness. And I'm not here to tell you it's going to happen overnight. I just want to say that. Virgo is highlighting your 10th house of achievements. So this is Saturn. It's like, hey, remember that thing you got to do? Hey, remember that spot, this spot? You know, Virgo is very detail oriented, the mundane. And you might think that this is like micromanaging, or like that inner critic is just getting to you. But there is a reason why we have an inner critic, or anxiety, for instance, that comes up around this. You know, Virgo and Gemini are both ruled by Mercury. So there is this a nervous system that's attached to them, analysis paralysis. You could be feeling the pressures of that 10th house of like, I know I have to do this, but how? How? We're going to get you there in the reading here, okay? But it is an applied pressure for a reason, and just so that it's teaching you something. Again, reframing. Instead of saying, why is this happening to me? What is this teaching me? Like I've been talking about with all of my readings. And again, that reframing video is below. It's just a tool, it's a muscle, much like our intuition, that we have to exercise, okay? You know, we might have aha revelations and breakthroughs during eclipses, but then what are we gonna do with it, right? The next steps, it's like a 12-step recovery process. We can have those aha moments, but then they can subtly shift back away when we get too distracted or we're like so busy. So it's a time, Pisces, of this lunar eclipse to rest, to recharge, to really start to integrate what it is that's coming up, okay? Pluto went back into Capricorn, and Capricorn's reading was so beautiful. It was bittersweet because if you can look back to 2008 as well for Gen Z, I want you to think back to 2008 if you can, recollect what happened there, journal about it, because this is the last time that we're gonna have Pluto in Capricorn. So it is a bit nostalgic, you know, because this is what we've been leaning on for quite some time, you know, and all of you are different at different ages, experiencing different transits and all that within your chart. But yeah, it's a time to reminisce on what it is that we weren't looking at, as Pluto and Aquarius have been doing this back and forth for quite some time. And finally Capricorn's like, okay, Aquarius, you can take the stage now, right? Like, you know, I think Capricorn is needing to just put that final stamp on it, you know, and we're all being like, okay, Capricorn, okay, Saturn, we have enough of this Saturn influence right now, but it's really present for a reason. Oh, sorry, Pluto. I said Saturn. There's a reason for that. Maybe there's strong aspects in your chart. You can look into your transits. I offer a transit reading. Pluto, transformation. And I wanted to read from a book here. I love this book. I don't really read through a lot of books. I pick through them, some more than others. I usually can get the gist of it pretty quickly. My Gemini brain is like, okay, I got the point there. I'll go back to it. And I might take something here, there, everywhere. Whereas Sag, you're the opposite sign. The way that you take in information from my point of view is that you narrow in on a truth, your arrow of truth, and you kind of stick with one thing for a longer substantial period of time. And it's like collective wisdom that's gathered and retained through a longer extended period process. Whereas Gemini is like here, 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 and then they form a more holistic vision that way. And that's why they can come off scattered, but it's really that they are getting intuitive nudges to pick that up and then pick that up. And, you know, Sag, you can teach Gemini to slow down and to like get clear, like don't have to move on to the next thing, right? But with grace, right? 7th house. You also have this Venus in Libra right now, which is it's a good aspect to you, and it's about your 11th house, Aquarius. Okay, so this is about wishes. It's like star energy. It's after the 10th house, again, Virgo in your 10th house, we go into this Venus in Libra in your 11th house, which again is about the people around you that are supporting you as you are working through what's hidden within the home, maybe past life, again, your family, what you were born into, and some might say, and I agree that we chose this. And though there's moments where we're like, why the f is this happening to me? We have to be able to reframe. We cannot play the victim. And that can be very easy with Pisces. It's the martyr. It's very self-sacrificing and empathetic. And that's such a beautiful quality. But just like every sign, there's a double-edged sword. And there's this balance that's coming in, especially as we enter into Libra season. We'll be feeling into that eclipse then. So stay tuned for that on YouTube and on Patreon. So there's something about outreach, networks, support, Venus in the 11th house. You could be finding a relationship with Venus in your 11th house that's very transformative, or it's helping you to see a more broader picture. Again, Aquarius is right next to Pisces. Any neighboring signs can share some similarities. I talked about this with Aquarius's reading of, you know, this 11th house vibe. Again, it's from our soul's mission. We find our people that really help support us and probably share some sort of karma, right? Some similarities within our first 7 years of our life. 4th house, Saturn for you, Pisces influence, transiting your 4th house. So let's talk about it here. So again, Pluto in Capricorn is reminding you, 2nd house, what you have, what you value, your sense of identity. And also in Aquarius's reading, we talked about this, of you know, that identity, we can get so stuck to it. This is our truth, especially you, Sag. This is our truth, and I'm sticking to it. But at one point, that's no longer your truth. You can lay that down. Pisces, the house of rest, surrender, lay it down. We don't have to carry that baggage into your future anymore. And this is what we're all doing, okay? So we have this little glance back into your second house transiting Pluto, right? Pluto in the second house is about your values, what you have, what you identify yourself as, and resources, right? So that connection with the 11th house, Venus transiting your 11th house, and then we have this dance back into Pluto in Capricorn until November 19th. It's all about your resources and what you can give, okay? What do you have to offer? And Pisces had a message in their reading about generosity. Their big heart. They're ready to be generous, or someone is ready to be generous with them with their time, sharing, being vulnerable. Pisces is asking us to be vulnerable. Okay, be emotional, have a good cry, you know? I know I've cried 3 times this week, okay? So, and that's not always like me, but I'm allowing it. It's like a purging process. Virgo, detox, okay? I also got some words for you here. I got reciprocation, self-analysis, being critical, management, and receiving, like truly receiving. And that's something that's come up for me around receiving, is like I feel like I'm like, oh yeah, I'm receiving. But then I realize that I'm lying to myself. It's like a very superficial thing when we're like receiving something, but are we actually really feeling like we deserve it, kind of thing? You know, I've definitely struggled with that. And I think that has to do with, again, 4th house, your family, your mother, your father, your parental role models. If you didn't have a mother or father, whoever you looked up to, right? And that can be very different for all of you. So let's talk about this Pluto in Capricorn second transit, and then it's going to go right back into Aquarius. It's going to stay there for quite some time, okay? So we have to get familiar with these energies, much like Saturn. It's not going to really be leaving Saturn. We're going to feel this energy into 2026, okay? So I'm going to read here from this lovely book. Check it out. Pluto in the second house, and it's going to go into your 3rd house, Gemini. So we have Taurus, Gemini here. The second house here, there's an overwhelming desire to have control over one's material resources, is as an aid to achieve peace, the very orientation towards controlling or possessing, right? However, is the source of inner turmoil. Pluto in this house indicates that one's attitudes towards owning or towards possessing things or people must be transformed in order to achieve a regeneration of values. Pluto here also indicates the compulsive expenditures can be a source of difficulty. So discipline is required here. A person with this position of Pluto is, however, often extremely resourceful with his or her efforts to find emotional and material security. That's what second house is. It's not just material. Yes, it's about earned income, resources, and how we can utilize them, right? But it also is about emotional security, okay? Our values, our identity, okay? So you're kind of looking back at that briefly. It looks like it's a reflection, Pisces, past. It's just a brief little review. It's like, don't forget where you came from, 2008, 2023, what was coming up for you then. This is just a reminder as we move out of this eclipse season, right? October, and then that ripple effect. It's a 6-month cycle, right? And as we move into the new year, we're going to be moving into the North Node in Pisces. So wherever you have Pisces as well, it's this Pisces effect, as I call it. It's going to be rippling into the new year. So stay tuned for those readings. And the 3rd house is about communication, Gemini. This is how it's clearly transmuted. Pluto in the 3rd house, when it goes back into Aquarius, it could feel like epiphany moments, revelations, and being curious about them. Gemini is the mind. It also represents the magician, Castor, Pollux. You know, in order for us to manifest, we have to balance the head and the heart and having the connection between both. So this could be really working with, you know, your chakras and aligning and attuning to what's happening within the mind and bringing it into the heart so that there's this flow there. So you have a lot of this second, third, fourth. Those first houses are all about self. So for you right now, it's about self. And of course, there is this little taste, Venus and Libra coming into a Libra. So in Libra month, Sun going into Libra, Venus going into Libra, there is going to be a way for you to, again, find that sense of self and then being able to relate to others or lean on others for support. All right, let's get into your reading here. Clap, clap, clap. I got this beautiful new deck. Where is it? It was gifted to me from my lovely partner. And I wanted to use it first and foremost for this reading. Sorry if that was loud. I'm just collecting. I have so many cards here. This is the Mind's Eye Tarot. Shout out to my partner over there, my partner in crime. We both love tarot, and it's very refreshing for me to be able to share decks. I'm like, more decks, yay! So we're gonna pull here first. Whoa, Jesus, the cards are like, yes, we're ready to be used. Give me a second, Sag. You know, some cards, when you buy them, they're super slippery. I kind of like it, but it takes a second to kind of get your energy on it, you know? To kind of get it to calm down. That was another message that I had for you, calm down. Everything's all right, and everything is in divine order. Sag, what do we need for my Sagittarius viewers? Healed ancestors, guides, allies. We're calling in source energy, spirit to provide you truth, clarity, purpose, love, and freedom. That's my goal. That's what I pray for you always. I'm here for you. If you have any questions, my email is below. If you want to book a reading with me, of course, do so. Take advantage of that sale. And again, on Patreon, you get 20% off all the time. Okay, if you like my style, hit that like button and stay up to date with that North and South Node series. That's also linked below. I'm going to work through the rest of those. I have Aries through Scorpio North Node there. And I'm going to work through the rest this week. Because we need to know about our lunar nodes, again, especially our South Node. And you'd be surprised when you look into those signs that you might attract those kinds of qualities in people. You might find that you date them, or a parent, a role model, or mentor that's teaching you. All right, here, Sag, what do they need to know? Please show me the truth for my Sag collective. The love reading is below. These readings are self-focused, but if love or you feel intuitively, right? Pisces is asking you to use your intuition, that it's someone else, then you know yourself best, right? I'm here just to relay the message. Sagittarius. Ooh, I like that. These cards are very beautiful. Sag, please show me the truth. Give me one more card for Sagittarius, please, for whenever you find this. Again, I timestamp it. But just like any eclipse month especially, there's a ripple effect. It's a cycle. It doesn't end here. It's just gaining momentum, right? Those are too many. One card, please, for Sagittarius. Please show me one card. Ancestors, guides, allies. Give me one card for my, there it is. Perfect. I like when I ask and I shall receive. 7 of Cups, 9 of Cups. So this is working through the fear, you know, the illusion, the things around the past. Again, 4th house hidden. It'd be good to look at your birth chart, and in the Placidus system, you can see what signs in your 4th chart. Okay, you know that in the 7th house it's going to be Gemini, but where is your 4th house? You could learn a lot from that sign. You might even have a North or South node in that sign. 9 of Pentacles, Virgo. We got this Lovers here. Wow. 10 of Swords. Yes, we know. Pain has been there. Most people living on planet Earth are experiencing this collective pain, especially this Pisces influence. It's all about clearing out the karma. And I did a reading over, I would say, a year and a half, 2 years ago when we first started feeling this energy of Pisces and Saturn, and it's the martyr. You know, and Virgo also struggles with that. We have 9 of Pentacles Virgo, but it's up right here. You know, we have to learn how to be of service to ourselves as well. We cannot expect to go into relationships, whether that's friend, family, work, where our cup is not full enough. And it's not to say that I'm going to be bright-eyed and perfect. I feel like we are forever students, especially you, Sag and Gemini. We are always learning and growing and evolving, and all signs can learn from that. We all are forever students. This is not just a one-way fits all, okay? So trust your healing. That song from Xavier read, you can take a listen. If you don't like the music, you can just listen to the lyrics, okay? Well, it's for Sagittarius. Let's take one more card. One more card. There it is. Okay. Magician. You got all this Gemini Virgo energy buzzing around you. We saw that Ace 10 of Swords. We have the Ace of Pentacles here with the strength. It takes strength to see this potential. Aces, all aces are potential. They're seeds. We have to grab them. Free will. You know? There's some readers out there that will be like, oh, this is happening for you. No, you have free will. You get to choose. I relay these messages. It's a choice. It's a choice to heal. It's a choice to move through this 10 of Swords. You know, because this can be brutal. This can be painful. The swords represent the mind. So it could be very much mental, and you're having to release some of the mental imprisonment, the inner critic, and reframing it to your inner coach so that it can help you heal. It can strengthen you. Strength. We have Leo showing up here. We have Sag here, Knight of Wands. We have Ace of Pentacles, which could be any earth. Gemini. Gemini is also the 10 of Swords. So they could be sharing, you could be dealing with a love dynamic where you both share maybe pain, or there's been trauma, or there's a way to work through this. Strength. It takes stamina, endurance, and strength can look very different for all of us. We are in a strength year. So we're still feeling it. It's not all about Leo season. You could have a Leo North or South node here, or a Gemini Sag dynamic. We also have Virgo, like I said. And there you are, Knight of Wands. And we have 7 of Cups. This is Venus and Scorpio with a 9 of Cups. So I like this. I like this. 7 of Cups can mean a lot of things. It can be choices, options, lust, illusion, desire, temptation. All that glitters isn't gold. And so we can get lost. You know, we think about when you have too many options, too many choices. It can feel like an overload of abundance that's coming into your life all at once. And you're like, why now? I noticed that with me when I get clients. You know, I'll have a couple weeks where I don't have any, and then it's like 4 clients. And I'm like, come on. But I've accepted, there's an acceptance there. And that's how it could feel like everything's coming in, everything that you wished for is coming in. And now you're like feeling a bit of like, whoa, like the 7 of Cups is like, where do I go? What do I choose? How do I feel? Cup energy. But it is something that you've wanted, 9 of Cups, for quite some time here. You have 2 9s, so it looks like you're coming into that identity. Remember, we talked about this. You have a lot of this second, third, fourth influence. Pluto, Capricorn, 2nd house, going into Pluto and Aquarius, 3rd house. And then we have Pisces, Saturn, lunar eclipse in your 4th house, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. You can look into what those houses mean if you have them in your chart. But I see that you are finding that strength to step more into this 9 of Pentacles, 9 of Cups. Self-driven, self-focused. Like I said, those houses all represent self, right? We have the 2nd is identity, our values, our sense of security. We have 3rd house, how we express it outwardly, how we relate to our people, right? How we communicate effectively, conflict resolution, Gemini, because they can see a lot of different perspectives. So conflict resolution and effective communication. And then we have this 4th house, which is creating safety, our home, nurturing ourselves, the maternal side of us, whether you're male or female. So there's a lot around, again, also the past with the 4th house. We have this Ace of Pentacles here that's ready to be witnessed, but it does require strength to really own it and ground it. This is earth. This could be about work. This could just be any new opportunity in general. I am seeing the Lovers, so it could be around a choice around love. The Lovers is soulmate. It's divine. It's ushered in by, you know, in the Rider-Waite we see there's an angelic presence there. So it does feel a bit like fated or destined, which is a lot like eclipses. Things feel fated or destined events that, again, we might not be able to control. And that's where that Seven of Cups is coming in, where we're like, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. And you over here, Knight of Wands, I have to say, it's in reverse. The only thing here with the Knight of Wands is this is you, and I'm not seeing it as negative with the other cards here. It's just that you could be feeling, again, like it's an overwhelm, Seven of Cups. You could be feeling a bit tired too, because the Knight of Wands upright is all about energy, adventure. It's almost like a bit impulsive, you know, out of all the Knights. They're a bit in and out, they're a bit flighty. So this is maybe that side of Sagittarius that you're learning how to ground in this Nine of Pentacles. Strength. It takes strength to befriend the beast within. It's our shadow. And again, it's a strength year. On my Instagram, I posted back at the beginning of the year. And every new year, I do a recollection, a poem, whatever comes up for me. And I remember I did in 2021, the year of the remembrance. So this is about remembering who you are, right? A lot of these nines here. And that Knight of Wands, this could also be something that you were in the past, and now you're learning how to maybe let it go. Not being as impulsive, but finding your passion, finding what lights you up, Knight of Wands, like what makes you feel good. Knight of Wands likes to feel good. They're indulgent, they're playful, they're curious. It's Sag, it's you, so you know these qualities. And then we got the Magician here on the bottom with the Sun. Oh my God, beautiful. You're manifesting happiness. And again, it can be a bit erratic. I have to mention to you, if I didn't already, we have this Saturn in Pisces squaring Jupiter in Gemini. We have this Gemini energy here, so I want to mention it to you, okay? You could have met a Magician in August, Leo season. But yeah, the Three of Swords here, Seven of Wands. We'll talk about that in a second. Like I was saying, it can feel like a birth canal, especially with this Plutonic underbelly of Pluto Capricorn going into Pluto in Aquarius. It's a revolutionary act, okay? If you have Capricorn in your chart, you can watch their reading, because there was a bit of this reminiscent, you know, as Pluto reflects on the Gen Z, you know, we're really impacted by this Pluto and Capricorn. So again, 2008 was a major moment for us as we entered into Pluto and Capricorn. And you can even check back to further dates if you're older, right? And you can journal. Eclipses are about journaling. But what I want to say here is that you're calling this in. You're learning how to sort it out, sorting out these swords one by one, and be gentle on yourself here. 10 of Swords, 3 of Swords. Be gentle, apply grace. That's that Knight of Wands in reverse. 9 of Pentacles is all about Virgo. This is how can we implement routine, practice, ritual, however that looks for you, into our lives so that we can support this process of alleviating some of the Seven of Cups illusion and the pain here. Creating healthy boundaries, Seven of Wands, but also allowing people in. And I feel like that's going to happen more for you. Yes, it's going to happen more for you in Libra season, because that's going to be highlighting your 11th house of networks, outreach. Ace of Swords, King of Cups, an opening of your heart, of revelation of truth. And there's that sun peeking behind here, as you can see here. There's happiness, there's a truth, there's an aha moment. You could be having one for sure. It is eclipse, so let's be honest. And there's choices that need to be made in the Lovers, right? Again, it represents Gemini, but it's a choice to love. That's what that means. Every day, no matter where you are in your life, whether you're single, coupled, past, it's a choice. And we all have to make choices around love and commitments, you know? Doing that work, Ace of Pentacles, to actually plant this seed, because it's potential. There's free will here. But how are we going to nurture it, fertilize it so that it can grow to its fullest potential? Okay, I'm going to pull from the Creativity Oracle. And I want you to, yeah, that Knight of Wands is reminding me, do not act impulsively. This is going to be a slower progression towards self-mastery with all this second, third, fourth influence for you. And we'll feel into your October readings. Again, on my Patreon, I'm going to be doing, at the end of the month, a post-eclipse reflection for all the signs for this lunar eclipse that we are bubbling in right now currently. We had it last night, and so the energy is ripe. All right, I want you to look at this image. I'm going to give you 10 seconds. This Pisces influence is asking us to use your intuition. What comes to mind? I'm going to let you think about it and hold on to whatever comes up. Okay. So I see here fish, so Pisces. I see a bird, it's a messenger. I also see a leaf, which represents fall season. And layers, I see layers. Okay, so birds are air signs, so this could be air in Pisces. It says recycle. Learn from the past, Sag, and apply it to creating your vision of the future. Everything we've been talking about. I love you, universe, when you just are like, hey, you already know, evolve. Have you been procrastinating around evolving? Due to indecision? It's a risky behavior. Yeah, it's a risk, but it's time. You've been maybe delaying it because of that Seven of Cups. Lost in the sauce, this Neptunian quality, Neptune retrograde. And after my eclipse readings in October on Patreon, I'm going to be feeling into the retrogrades that we're going to be feeling until the new year. I'm probably going to do, since we have this Pisces signature, and again, the North Node's going into Pisces next. Sorry, alarms. I am going to do a Neptune retrograde series, but there is a risk here to evolve. We saw that, but you are being called into doing just that. Okay, you are right where you need to be. You can trust your healing. Again, that song, I encourage you to listen to it. Okay, we're gonna pull from the Sacred Destiny here to wrap up your reading, and then we're gonna pull from the Astro Tarot to see who we're gonna be talking about in love. Okay, so if you want to go deeper, there always seems to be some crossover wherever you at and relating to others, right? Because again, there is something to learn in the love reading as well, wherever you are, right? Doesn't mean that you have to be dealing with someone. It just could be talking about past, and right now we're being asked to look at the past a bit to kind of see what we have to break free from. And although it might feel like a risk, Seven of Cups, overwhelming, take your time, Sag. It's not going to happen overnight. Trust. Just trust. Trust that you are held, you are supported. You have this 9 energy. Again, you have the 2nd, 3rd, 4th house influence. You can trust that it's okay to take action. There's an opportunity here. And this opportunity could be presented to you now or in the near future. I am seeing 2 of these cards have they're losing light. This is waning crescent. So this is right before the new moon. You could have that as your moon phase for when you were born, or someone else. Or again, this is just time stamps for you to reflect on the waning crescent. And I remember when, I do any sort of ritual around the moon, is usually it's 3 to 4 days prior to the new moon that we're wanting to actually do that kind of work. So maybe that's what you can start to implement, Virgo, into your routine, is doing some sort of new moon. It's looking like, because you're going into something new, a new way of looking at something, stepping into your North Node qualities, right? We saw the sun, waning crescent here both times. There's an opportunity to take action and to trust that. Trust in this process. Sag, we're going to take this over to the love. Let me pull from my Astro Tarot deck if I can find it. I have so many cards out on my table right now and be organizing this, and I might be changing my space here as I move to my office. Air just flew out. Air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. You could have that in your chart. Again, These are aspects of your chart or theirs. These are transits. Again, that's why transit readings are so important. I have a 6-month transit reading. They could have it anywhere, right? It doesn't have to just be their sun sign, but it could very well be. What other signs could Sagittarius be dealing with in love? Please show me the truth. Ancestors, guides, allies. These could just be talking about planetary influences that are embracing or creating maybe tension within the relationship. But again, where the tension lies is where the growth is, dear Sag. What other signs or transits are impacting them in their love life for Sagittarius? Please show me the truth. Please show me the truth. Mercury, communication. We did talk about that, right? And I feel like for you, it's going to be that 11th house influence next month where you're going to have outreach. You're going to feel like you're finding your people, or hopefully that's where we're going to get you. But this is also Virgo, Mercury, and Gemini both rule Mercury. We had Mercury retrograde last month. We did see the Sun card for you and the Strength, which is Leo. So a lot of this could have occurred during Mercury retrograde. And now it's kind of, you know, revealing itself here, right? A bit more. And you're learning about yourself through another, potentially through communication. What else here? Show me some other signs that Sagittarius could be dealing with in love and partnership. This could talk about, again, family, friend, foe, just relating in general, so that you can better learn about yourself. Because a lot of the time when we find ourselves in relationships, there's a lot of mirroring that can happen because it's meant for us to see our wounds. Although that might be challenging, right? There's levels to karma in all relationships. Doesn't have to be a bad thing. It's just time to see it, witness it. Earth, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and fire here on the bottom. There you are. Aries, Leo, Sag, and then we see the presence of Saturn. Okay, so Saturn is part of this dynamic. Maybe you guys, if you did a synastry chart reading, you might have some strong aspects to Saturn, and that is it all about learning karmic lessons. Again, like we said, you're releasing some of the pain, 10 of Swords, 3 of Swords, around that 4th house with this Saturn and Pisces influence, right? It's all about what was hidden within the home the first 7 years of your life. Also, Saturn represents father, so you could be healing some things around father. Focus. Come on. This camera sometimes acts wacky. So we're gonna dive into your love reading. I hope to find you over there, Sag. If this is where we part, thank you for joining me in this space, and bye for now.